Thank you very much. Yuan, I believe you have a second question for the Secretary.
Madam Secretary, despite of your demanding schedule being the Secretary of the State, how do you find time with the former President Bill Clinton and your beautiful daughter Chelsea?
Oh, well, we try to schedule ourselves so that we have time together, which is the most important thing to us. And when, my husband travels nearly as much as I do, sometimes it's even more, depending upon the time of year and what his obligations are. He'll be going to the Middle East today on a long scheduled trip. But then we will come back home together in the weekend and just do what people like to do. We like to take long walks. We like to go to movies. We like to go out to dinner. We like to catch up on our sleep, the kinds of respite from our busy lives. And I'm lucky that my daughter lives in New York. In fact, just last weekend, my husband and I were at her apartment visiting with her and catching up on her life. So we stay in touch through telephoning, and I was just actually talking to my husband as I turned into the university and saw all the students out there, and I told him I had to hang up because I was going to the university and to this forum. So it's pretty ordinary and normal, which is what I really like. I like just being at home and having a chance to decompress, and that's what we look forward to.
All right, thank you very much, Johan, for your questions, and thank you to you, Secretary Clinton, from here in Zamboanga.
And thanks to everyone.
Back to you.
Secretary, I have to ask this question because it was brought up. You're in politics, your husband is in politics. Is Chelsea going to go into politics? Is that inevitable?
I don't think so. I think that she has really carved out her own life and her own privacy and her own group of friends and social circle, which she finds very rewarding. And I think she respects and appreciates the political world, but has no plans for being part of it at this time in her life.
Well, we've got a long time. We'll see. Anyway, let's go to Dumaguete. We're joined by our other anchor, Tony Velasquez. He's down there right now. Tony.
All right, thank you very much, and good morning to all of you there in UST. Good morning to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Well, as you know, Dumaguete City has been called the City of Gentle People, and we'll probably find out why when we talk to Ana Espino. She's a third-year economics and political science double major here at the Silliman University. Also a champion debater. Ana has come out in one of our ANC programs, square off several times, leading her team to several victories over the other universities. So, a gentle question, perhaps, from Ana for Secretary of State Clinton.
Good morning, Madam Secretary.
Good morning, Ana.
I'm an economics student, so I would like to know, will the effort of your government to reverse the recession affect your adherence to free trade principles?
Well, Ana, thank you, and congratulations on being a champion debater. That's quite an accomplishment. I think that we are reversing the effects of the global recession, not only in the United States, but we're beginning to see some positive signs elsewhere. And I really want to commend the Philippines. Until the recession, I think you had 34 or 35 straight quarters of positive growth, which is really the best way to end poverty, is to grow out of it. But what we are seeing is a slow move back to economic stability. In the United States, we are committed to free trade, but we also would like to see trade agreements recognize the rights of workers to benefit from free trade, because if the free trade benefits only go to the top of society, that doesn't change the economic well-being of the larger society, which we would like to see free trade do. And we also think that we have to take into account the environment in trade agreements. We now know that climate change, and you've suffered through these horrible storms over the last months, is having a very tangible effect on how people are living because of droughts, because of increasing storm activity. There's all kinds of problems. And we have to tackle that. So we don't want free trade to encourage climate change. We want it to help discourage climate change. So we're going to continue to promote trade and economic activity, but we would like to see it have a positive impact on workers and the environment.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Say hello to all the gentle people.
All right, thank you very much, Anna, for that question. I
Yes.
hope Secretary Clinton was able to give you a proper response.
Yes, definitely.
Something that you can write about in your term paper, I suppose.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, back to you there in UST.
Thanks very much, Tony. Secretary Clinton, you've been talking, your career you've spent a lot of focus on human rights. And I know that the Obama administration's policy now is constructive engagement. And it's being applied with Burma. You had a high-level visit there. And you're going to Singapore and you're going to meet with the Burmese again. Can we expect, as a result of the recent new strategy, that something significant will be announced in Burma, by Burma in Singapore with regard to loosening restrictions, say, on Aung San Suu Kyi?
Ricky, I doubt it. I think this is a long-term effort that requires a lot of patience. And it is important to commend the Philippines. This government and your country have been some of the strongest voices on behalf of Aung San Suu Kyi. And I thank you for that. I think that her courage in standing up for human rights and for political rights and democracy is really extraordinary because she's paid a big price for it. Having been unable to be with her husband as he was dying, she hasn't seen her children in years. So I'm hoping that we're able to influence the leadership in Burma to begin an internal dialogue inside their own country, bringing the opposition parties, bringing the ethnic minorities who have been so oppressed, beginning a conversation that could create the conditions for free, fair, and credible elections, which they are planning to have next year. There is no doubt in my mind that the leadership in Burma is on the wrong side of history. It's just a question of how long they stay there and whether they can be nudged and encouraged to move toward more freedom and opportunity for their own people. Some of you probably remember the oppression of the Buddhist monks who were demonstrating for human rights. The problems of getting aid into the country after the horrible hurricane that struck Burma. So there's a lot to be done, but you know, we've been in office, 8, 9 months now, and I think that we've tried to reverse some of the policies that were not very productive, that were really putting our country in a wrong light. But things don't happen overnight. It takes a while, but I'm a very patient person, and I think we have to be willing to just keep working and support the Burmese people in their aspirations.